Hello witches, wizards and those who are yet to receive their Hogwarts school letters, welcome to my Harry Potter kitchen. This is a YouTube series where I'm baking my way through the Harry Potter books, creating recipes for every item of food and drink that we find inside. If you missed last week's recipe where we created Molly Weasley's lightning bolt plum cake, then make sure you check out the link down below in the description to catch up. And if you're new to the kitchen and you want to see some more Harry Potter recipes, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, and you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. Speaking of which, let's head back into the chamber to see what's next. It's Christmas at Hogwarts, so let's head back into chapter 12, the Polyjuice Potion, to get some more festive treats. Okay, so even the thought of taking Polyjuice Potion later is not going to get in the way of Christmas dinner, so let's see what's on the menu. The Great Hall is looking magnificent, there's loads of Christmas trees, now they're singing some Christmas carols, and I can see our next recipe. Dumbledore led them in a few of his favourite carols, Hagrid booming more and more loudly with every goblet of eggnog he consumed. 'Tis the season! If you'd like to recreate this eggnog recipe with a Firewhisky twist, then all the ingredients you need, along with the measurements and instructions, are up on my website, bradleybakes.co.uk. The link is down below in the description. It's time for some festive themed My Harry Potter Kitchen recipes, and this week we're making a twist on the traditional eggnog recipe. If you've never had eggnog before, it is an egg-based Christmassy drink mixed with milk, cream, nutmeg and alcohol. If you don't drink, you can substitute that out, but I'm going to try to follow that traditional recipe today, and we're going to use our alcohol of choice, which is Odin's Firewhisky. If you've missed the recipe where we made that earlier on in the series, I'll leave the link for that down below. I like to follow the pasteurise method, which is where we heat up those eggs before we incorporate them into the drink, just to make sure we remove any bacteria that might be there. You don't need to do this because of the alcohol content in the drink usually makes it safe to drink, but if you are elderly or pregnant, susceptible to any raw eggs, you should probably avoid this recipe. We'll then incorporate that with the rest of the ingredients, and you can also make this ahead of time, bottle it up, and then make some final preparations before you serve it. To begin making your eggnog, you want to separate your eggs. So I'm going to crack them one at a time, tipping them from side to side in the shells, and then splitting out our yolks and our whites. Keep the whites in the fridge until we're ready to use them later. Place a heat-proof bowl on top of a pan of simmering water and add in your sugar. I'm using two kinds, golden caster sugar and light brown sugar, so we get that nice caramelly molasses in our eggnog too. Working as quickly as possible, add in your egg yolks and then keep on whisking it until it goes light, pale and fluffy. I find this easiest to do with an electric whisk. Once they're light and foamy, you want to remove them from the heat and then place them down to one side. At this point, I'm going to whisk in my milk, cream, Angostura bitters, and my Firewhisky. Once that's all incorporated, you can then flavour with nutmeg to taste. At this point, you can either move on to the next step straight away, or you can put it into a bottle, seal it and keep it in the fridge until you're ready to serve. So that is the base for our eggnog complete, and as I mentioned, you can make this ahead of time. Because of the alcohol content, it will preserve in the fridge, so you can take it out and it'll be ready to serve and do our last few steps. I've used Firewhisky in this recipe, and the cinnamon undertones in the whiskey are really going to complement the nutmeg, and it's also got a little chili kick to surprise your guests. If you don't drink though, you can take it out. I'd recommend using a vanilla sugar syrup instead. So you use the sugar from this recipe with some water, boil that up with your vanilla, and you have a really sweet mellow undertone to your eggnog. It might not be as merry, but it will be as equally cheerful. Okay, our last few steps involve whisking up our egg whites, getting them nice and foamy, and then we'll fold that into our eggnog base. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to pasteurise my egg whites too. So I've got a bowl over simmering water and poured my egg whites in. Lightly whisk them until they get nice and foamy. I'm then going to transfer them into my stand mixer and whisk them until they form stiff peaks. I'm now going to transfer my eggnog base into a bowl and add in 1/3 of my egg whites. Fold this through to loosen up the mixture. Repeat the process with another 1/3 of your egg whites, folding it in, trying to keep in as much air as possible. and then finish with your final third. Once the last of the egg whites are incorporated, you should have a lovely, rich and velvety eggnog. Transfer this into your serving glasses immediately and sprinkle with a dusting of nutmeg before serving. And with that, our traditional eggnog recipe with a Harry Potter twist is complete. So it's time to welcome in the Christmas season. So that is our easy homemade eggnog recipe with a chili and cinnamon fire whiskey twist complete. Let me know down below in the comments, have you tried eggnog before? And has this tempted you to give it a go? That's all for this week's recipe, but if you want to see more from my Harry Potter kitchen, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, then you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. I'm off to get into the Christmas spirit, and I'll see you next week. Cheers! It's beginning to taste a lot like Christmas.